Okay, good morning, everybody. We'll wait to let people join today's webinar. We'll just give it a couple of minutes before we get started today. Thank you for joining us. Just give it another minute and we can get started with our Shared Lives Week webinar. Happy Shared Lives Week, everybody.
Sorry, that was a mistake. Sorry.
No worries, Victoria. Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy Shared Lives Week. I'm really pleased to welcome you all to this Shared Lives Week event, celebrating the incredible outcomes that Shared Lives provides for so many people across the UK. If you'd like to ask any questions to any of our panelists today, then please pop them in the chat and we'll pick these up. These will be visible to everyone, just bear that in mind. At the end of discussions today, we'll have some time to go through the questions in the chat. And we'd love to know who's with us today. So first of all, we've got a poll that will pop up on your screen. So if you're happy to fill that in, that would be amazing. It'd be great to hear about if you're a Shared Lives carer, you work in a scheme, or somebody else joining us today. Please do fill that in. So far I can see people coming from schemes. Thank you for joining us today. We'll just leave that up there for a minute to let people fill this in. Just helps give us an idea who we have joining us today. Looks like most people attending are from a scheme. Thank you for filling this in. Okay, fab. I think we can end the poll, Lydia. Thank you. Thanks for filling that in, everybody, and welcome again. So we've had a fantastic Shared Lives Week so far, and we hope you have too. It's been really great to see what Shared Lives schemes and Shared Lives households have got up to this week to celebrate and spread the word so that Shared Lives can support even more people. I actually attended a Shared Lives Week event with Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Shared Lives scheme on Monday. We played mini golf, which was really fun, and it was really great to play the game and speak to lots of Shared Lives households. And we know that this week there's been plenty more fantastic events taking place throughout the UK to celebrate Shared Lives Week and everyone involved in Shared Lives. You know, things from like big breakfasts, tea and toast, coffee mornings, lunch, picnic gatherings, discos, summer balls, a riverboat day, and lots of recruitment events. Yesterday, our CEO Ewan King visited Positive Futures in Belfast to help mark their 30th anniversary. And this week, we've also launched our Shared Living Award nominations, which is a further opportunity to showcase people and organisations who've made a real difference. Today, we want to continue that celebration and have several of our Shared Lives ambassadors joining us today to discuss the very best parts of Shared Lives. We have Hope, Heather, Gracie, and Victoria, so welcome all. And I'll now hand over to Ewan King, our CEO at Shared Lives Plus.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be with you all today to talk about Shared Lives. As my colleague Jess just said, I was over in Northern Ireland yesterday meeting 30 carers, lots of people who are supported, having a wonderful day talking about all the good things that Shared Lives gets involved in. So it's wonderful to be on this webinar as well today. Just before I introduce my colleagues, our Shared Lives ambassadors, I'm just going to take you through a few slides just to make sure we're all on the same page about what Shared Lives is. I'm sure a lot of you know how Shared Lives works, but for any of you who don't know how it works, I'll just quickly take you through a couple of slides about Shared Lives and where the sector is at the moment. So Shared Lives has been around for over 40 years. It was actually started by someone called Sue Newton, who lived in Liverpool and worked in Liverpool. And she established what was then called a Shared Lives, an adult placement in Liverpool back in 1978. And from that point on, she encouraged other people to get involved in Shared Lives, and it's grown across the UK ever since. So there's now 152, 53, I should say, schemes, shared lives schemes, and there are over 10,000 shared lives carers supporting about 9,800 shared lives carers. Sorry, people supported that. I got back very late last night. I'm just recovering. I'll get my numbers right in a moment. So shared lives is an innovation. It involves an approved shared lives carer who is matched to someone who is seeking support, and that person, once they're matched, then lives with or regularly visits the shared lives carer. It's a person-centered, highly personalized and very high quality form of care. Just looking at England, the CQC, the Care Quality Commission, has rated shared lives 97% of shared lives schemes as good or outstanding. So it's a really high quality form of support. And right across the country, we see that social workers, people working in the NHS, are making referrals of people into shared lives so they can be matched and live with or regularly visit a shared lives carer. So it's a wonderful model of care. Thanks, Jess. So this is a little diagram of how it works. As I said, we've got approved shared lives carers. They are then matched with someone who is seeking support. The people who we support in shared lives can have learning disabilities. They can have mental health challenges. They can have autism or a range of other support needs. It's a very flexible model of support. And once the match happens, as I said, the person who's supported lives with or regularly visits shared lives carer. There are actually three types. There's long stay, where someone actually lives with someone for quite a while, and some of the ambassadors you're about to hear from, they've lived in people's homes for quite some time, which is wonderful to hear about. But you can also have shared lives respite or short breaks, and also day support, where you visit the shared lives carer during the day. So highly flexible model of support. Thanks, Jeff. There are so many stories about the difference that shared lives makes. So if you look at our website, go on there today, you'll find that more stories are going up all the time about the difference that shared lives can make. This is a slightly different example of what shared lives can achieve. So this is a story of Val. Val lives up in Moray, which is an area in the north of Scotland. And about 2 years ago, Val was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, dementia. And she lives with her husband, Tony, who she's been married to for over 65 years. But about 2 years ago, things started to get a little bit difficult for Val and for Tony. They started to struggle with certain aspects of their lives, and they were seeking some help. And they reached out to Shared Lives in Moray, and they were able to help Val meet and be matched with two wonderful carers, Anne and Lisa. And through regular visits to Anne and Lisa's houses, Val has been really involved in some wonderful support. It's enabled her to get out and about, doing the things that she loves doing, meeting and being with friends. And you can see at the quote there at the end that Val has really enjoyed her time with Shared Lives, as has Tony, who has managed to have a few breaks as well from his caring role. So Val says, the people in the group are really friendly, and I like that I see them every week and we all look after each other. So that's a lovely quote from Val. So that's just one example. That's a person with dementia supported through Shared Lives Day support. I'll send these slides around and the recording later after the end of this webinar, but just to show you that Shared Lives is now now available right across the UK. There are schemes in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. There are carers in almost every part of the UK as well, and we've reached, as I said earlier, over 10,000 Shared Lives carers. Thank you. 9,802 people supported. There's the figure that I didn't quite get right earlier, but I've hopefully got right now. And the largest group of people that we support through Shared Lives are adults with learning disabilities. But as I said, it's a really flexible approach to support, and it's providing support for a very broad range of people with a wide range of needs, including autism, neurodiverse conditions, people actually fleeing domestic abuse, and young people coming out of care as well. And we'll talk to some of our ambassadors who are involved in our Young People Leaving Care program shortly to hear about that. Thank you. Okay, so that's it from me in terms of the slides. But what I'd like to do now is talk to my colleague, ambassador, and has lived in shared lives and knows all about shared lives. And I'd like to introduce Hope now. Hope, do you want to say hello?
Yeah, hello. I'm Hope.
Hope, you may have seen Hope actually on various social media channels. Hope is often visiting the Houses of Parliament. She's involved in meeting politicians and trying to make sure that shared lives, but also generally good social care is talked about in the highest offices in the country. So she's very involved in trying to influence our national politicians. So it's really good to see Hope here today. But we're going to talk about your experiences of shared lives, if that's okay, Hope. So
Yeah.
how long were you in shared lives?
I lived in shared lives for about 7 years. I've just transitioned out. But before I lived in a shared lives for long-term placements, I was receiving what was known as respite, but now in short breaks care through shared lives before that.
Fantastic. And what is your favorite part of shared lives?
I think its uniqueness and how specific it is to people's needs, because often other forms of supported living aren't able to adapt to people's needs in the same way, particularly if you have adapting needs, or because nobody knows what's going to happen. So when I first started shared lives, my needs were purely my neurodiversity and my mental health, but then over the time it became my physical health as well. But because of the nature of shared lives, it was able to adapt to that as well. And I just love like the family and community feel of shared lives as well.
Thank you, Hope. And how does your life look different now as a result of shared lives?
So much different, it's quite hard to word. So when I first came to shared lives, I was on a high level of support. So I needed basically 24/7 care, kind of one-to-one. And I was a mute and had been for a number of years. And I hadn't left the house for a number of years either. Whereas now, as you can see, I can talk quite well. And I do talk a lot for a lot of people. And I independently travel now, up and down the country. I now work, which is fantastic. That was something I got told I'd never be able to do. And I now live independently. And without shared lives, I couldn't have done that. And so, yeah, it's completely different to what it was.
Fantastic. That's an amazing story. So what kinds of things do you get up to as a shared lives ambassador?
All kinds, to be fair. We get to go to conferences to meet professionals working within the field. We get to go to local schemes and meet other people that are in the schemes, and sometimes to help them with projects that they're doing. We get to help. So I've done some work with the Outstanding Society around people who are LGBTQ plus, around how we can create guidance for that. I've helped make policies easy read, which has been loads of fun. And yeah, there's such a wide variety of things that you get to do as a shared lives ambassador.
Fantastic. So how could shared lives schemes support people like yourself to transition out of shared lives? We often get asked this question. What advice would you give?
Just really like knowing what's out there for people when they are wanting to transition out, and being able to signpost them. Also writing letters to help, because often these things require letters. And just being honest when you don't know, like you've not had this before, but also it might be helpful to reach out to other schemes who have had somebody transition out. And I think because often schemes have done something, but or they're going through something and they're like, oh, we're not sure what to do here. But that's one of the really good things about like Shared Lives Plus, because it's a membership organisation. There's other shared life schemes that you can talk to who have probably gone through that and so know how to do it, or know how to do it but in a similar way. And making sure that people have got things set up for when they transition out, make sure that it's smooth. Also just like the basics, like making sure that they know where to apply for the gas and electric, making sure that they've got the basics done like that. Or most local councils, if you're moving out and you don't have any furniture or anything like that, you can actually apply for grants, or they will give you furniture. And just like that really emotional support as well as the practical support, because it's a big change transitioning from adult social care to independent living. And it can be quite scary and very nerve-wracking for anybody.
Absolutely. So how long have you been doing that? How long have you been living independently now, Hope?
Over a month, 6 weeks, yeah.
And going well so far, I hope.
Yeah, so well, going far.
Right, brilliant.
So well, going well, so far going well, sorry.
No, don't worry about it. That's no problem at all. So are you still in contact with your Shared Lives carer?
I am, yeah. So I frequently speak to my old Shared Lives carer, and every Sunday pretty much I go around for a roast dinner with her and her family. And it's so lovely to have that connection still, and to know that if I've got any problems or any worries, I've got somebody around the corner that I can speak to or call or just even go around. And she's still very much there. And I think that's what's really unique about Shared Lives as well. Like the connections you make are so genuine that even when you've transitioned on, that bond doesn't stop.
Fantastic. Well, it's been lovely chatting to you, Hope, and we'll hear from you again in a moment, I think, later on. Next up, we've got 3 more of our ambassador colleagues. So we've got Heather, Gracie, and Victoria. Now, Heather I've known for a while. Heather actually interviewed me when I went for this job, so I've known Heather for quite a while, and she gave me a really good grilling on that day. But the other 2, Gracie and Victoria, have arrived quite recently to work alongside Heather and us on this important new program that we're working on, which is about young people leaving care and how Shared Lives can provide support to people leaving care. So I'm now going to ask them to introduce themselves. So Victoria, do you want to go first and just say hello?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm Victoria. I am an ambassador for the Care Leavers programme for Shared Lives. And I was in foster care for 6.5 years, and I'm now in Shared Lives, and I have been here for 6, nearly 7 years. It'll be 7 years in August.
Wonderful.
So
Thanks, Victoria. Heather, do you want to say hello?
Yes, hello everybody. As you can see, Ewan has got the job, so I don't think my grilling was as bad as what he's making out. I've been a Shared Lives ambassador now for 5 years. I've also lived in Shared Lives for about 6-7 years, and I've previously to that been in care since I was a very young age. But
Thank you.
it's good to meet you all this morning.
Fantastic. And Gracie, just say hello.
Hi, I'm Gracie. I've been a Shared Lives ambassador since the beginning of May, so it's been a short time. And I've been under Shared Lives for 3 years now. So yeah, I'm
So
quite
just
fast.
Thanks, Gracie. Just following on from that, though. So what are your interests, Gracie? What do you get involved in?
A lot of things. Like, what do I like to do and stuff like that? Is that
Yeah.
what you're asking? I like many things. I like going to the theatre, going to the cinema. I love to be involved with within the community. I volunteer at a food bank in Romarsh. I've done that for about 2 years now. That was also under Shared Lives with one of my day support that I had. She ran the food bank and was like, you should volunteer, and I was like, okay, I will do. So I work on the welcome desk there, and yeah, I just really like to get out and about, like shopping and doing everything like that. I get my nails done. It's great.
Fantastic. What's your aspirations? What do you want to achieve in life? It's a big question. I goodness knows, I don't know what I want to achieve either. But what do you want to achieve?
Well, there's like a lot that I want to achieve, but like my main focus it would be Shared Lives. Like I'm really dedicated to my ambassador role and just wanting to like, because being under Shared Lives 3 years, I haven't really had the experience that other like care leavers have. But yeah, I've seen so much potential that it has, and for me to be able to use my voice to kind of give Shared Lives that support and stuff, I would really love to do that. And so I'm just really dedicated to giving Shared Lives its full potential and hoping that it can thrive as beyond as it gets, really. Yeah, that's my biggest aspiration. Yeah.
Thank you, Gracie. And Heather, what do you get up to? All kinds of things as well.
Yeah, I'm quite busy. I quite like a good routine. So I volunteer at my local hospital 2 times a week, mostly working with patients that have got dementia or unfortunately mental health issues. And that I've been doing that for about 6 months now, and I just absolutely love it. The type of characters that I meet, and I'm quite a social person. I'll talk to anybody. I just don't judge anyone. They don't need to tell me why they're there or their whole entire story. I'm just there to be a bit of company and things like that. So it's been wonderful. I also sing part of a rock choir as well. So if you've not seen me as part of Shared Lives, you've probably seen me on Facebook somewhere singing my wee heart out. So I also do that. I also love my family as well. The dog's right joint to my hip all the time. I know there's a few dog lovers on here. So that's mainly what I get up to.
Fantastic, Heather. Thank you. And Victoria, yeah, what hobbies do you have?
How long have you got?
Go for it. Tell us.
So the hobbies I've got are, I love theatre. Like if you were to say theatre, I'm an absolute theatre nerd. I've got interest in space, so I like planets and constellations and pictures. I like taking pictures of the moon, especially when they're full. What else do I like doing? Musical theatre. So I do dance and musical theatre. I like singing. I go to a music studio. So I'm currently learning to play the electric guitar.
Oh, wow.
Which I bought for myself last year for a self-Christmas present after I did Panto. Because I work at the Royal in Derngate in Northampton, so I'm a stage technician at the Derngate.
Oh, fantastic.
What else do I do? I've got about 4 0-hour contracts, so I do this, I do Derngate, and I do 2 companies with Oliver McGowan. So I'm a Oliver McGowan co-trainer. So I work with the NHS. What else do I do? I take the dogs dog training, so they do scent work and they do hoopers. And I like skateboarding. I don't do it as much as I used to. Rock climbing, going out on day trips with my carer Jane. We're traveling up to Wales tomorrow because it's her sister's birthday, 50th birthday party tomorrow. Well, for the weekend, which is funny because her birthday's not till October. So she got about 50 plus family members going up to Wales. Oh. She got there last night because she's got a caravan up there. What else do I like doing? Oh my God. I like going on holiday, going to the cinema. Yeah,
you're making my life sound really boring.
I'm sorry.
It's really exciting. Do you bring
Oh,
your skateboard
sorry.
everywhere? I used to skateboard when I was younger, but when I was 16, I was quite a good skateboarder. But that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
That's
I tried to do a trick and I would say gashed my elbow really badly.
oh yeah. Do you have the pads and stuff like that?
No.
Oh, well, you should get those.
Who
Right. Well,
uses
that's
pads?
thanks, Victoria.
Amateurs.
That's brilliant. Okay, so lots of exciting things that you get up to. I've got a question now for Heather. What's your experience been like working with Shared Lives Plus as an ambassador? What's it been like? What have you been up to?
I'd say it's been like a sort of 360 because also I started when it was over COVID and being on the laptop and having that comfort of being behind the screen to then suddenly being catapulted into a meeting of like being in front of 150 people easy. Public speaking isn't much of anybody's forte, never mind standing up in front of 150 people. So I think, it's been absolutely amazing to meet different social workers, to meet different schemes, to educate people on not only what it's like to be in shared lives, but to understand it from a perspective of what it's like to actually be in the care system, itself, and what young children and young adults have to experience and what they have to go through. Because like in any job, you're going to get people that are good at it and you're going to get some sort of people that aren't really good at it. But when it comes to social care, it's absolutely certainty that you do get it right, because like Hope said, if you don't make that transition and smooth and it's quite hard and you're feeling anxious, or relationships aren't the best, it's not going to work, unfortunately. I've had incredible experiences of going to the Parliament as well. I've met some incredible people. I met Paul O'Kane, who's actually a learning disability MP, and he was just amazing in the way that he wanted to help people with learning disabilities and autism get employment, because a lot of people that unfortunately do have a disability or autism, they really do struggle with employers being self-judgment or assuming that they can't do things as quick as what other people can do. So that was generally an amazing experience. Then I've done lots of training and things like that when it comes to conferences as well, being involved with lots of different things. What can they do better as a scheme, and how can they get transitions, how can they recruit, all that kind of stuff. I quite pride myself in my honesty. I say how it is. I think just being myself has been partially to my role. I think, I can't try and be someone different. I think the level of experience of having that someone who's relatable, that's kind, that's caring, someone that's definitely approachable, because, like I was saying before this meeting, you've got Ewan who's telling you all the boring numbers,
We're trying to,
we're trying, but you got there. You've done a very good job. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Carry on, please.
But I think, having that authentic person that's going to tell you from my experience, you can't utter any other different things, and I think it's been an amazing experience, and I can't wait to see what's next and drive those different ideas that I've got in my head, because I'm the type of person that I've got an idea in my head. I just like to go forward with it and say, right, where can we do this and take it forward.
Fantastic, Heather. And I was with Heather at an event in Scotland a couple of weeks ago, and Heather does this amazing thing where she asked people of my age what they were like when they were like 15 and 16, what they knew, and it was just a really good exercise for making you think about how scary it must be leaving care at 16, 17 and being expected to live an independent life. It was just a really good exercise. It got all of us thinking about how tricky that must be and how much better we need to do to support people coming out of care. So that was a really good experience. Thanks, Heather. Right, I'm just going to come to Gracie now. Just ask you, what made you want to become a Shared Lives ambassador?
Well, as I mentioned before, I just really wanted to see the full potential of Shared Lives. I felt like Shared Lives had done so much for me, just in the space of 3 years, that I wanted to give back whatever I could. And I felt like my voice and speaking out about my own experiences and helping other people, like with my story and my experience, would benefit from that, then I would 100% do it. It was like I got the call from Rachel and she was like, we want to interview you, and I was like, definitely. I was nervous, but I was like 100%. I just felt like, because I'm based in Rotherham, and the manager of the Rotherham is Debbie. I've always said to her for like 2 years, I was like, I really want to be involved with like more Shared Lives things. Like I want to go to events and help promote, and I want to like just be more involved and give back. And then the interview came and I was like, oh, 100%. Like I was just so dedicated. I just want to give it my all. And yeah, it's just such a great thing to be a part of, that it's like you can't not give back because of everything that like they've done for me. I just had to do it. And I just feel like it's like such a good purpose in life to like know that you're helping this like fantastic scheme by like doing something that can like help other people. And I just feel like that's kind of like my purpose is for Shared Lives and dedicating myself to Shared Lives. I think it's just such an important like role and things to do and stuff like that. So that's why I want to become a Shared Lives ambassador. I think it's just so important, really. And yeah, I'm more than happy with it.
Thanks, Gracie. And the same question for you, Victoria. Why did you want to become a Shared Lives ambassador?
So I became an ambassador for Shared Lives because, like I said before, because I grew up in foster care and the care system and everything. So I got taken into foster care when I was 12 years old. So I was quite young when I got taken in. It was an emergency placement. So me and my other two sisters were taken into the same placement. I was there till I was 18, but it broke down and I left. So then I came into a Shared Lives placement. And I just feel like now, because it's just me and my carer and there's nobody else about, it's like less stress, less hassle. But I just feel like, because I keep saying this to my Shared Lives officer, my PAs at my care leaver centre called Russell House, that Shared Lives is always a last option for people who are in care or leaving care, because there's some care leavers who leave care and have nowhere else to go, and then they end up going down a dark path and they end up doing things they shouldn't do. And I just feel like being in care isn't really great, because everyone wants to be with their parents to some extent, but I just feel like if you have a difficult background but you're in care but you need somewhere else to go, I feel like if you have like limited support or something, you need something else. I think Shared Lives is a good option for like care leavers and other people like that. It's like, I always have in the back of my mind, and it really frustrates me that Shared Lives is always a last option for care leavers, and it's not really a great thing. So I just want to be an ambassador to say we need to up it a bit more. And it's not like, I mean, we feel like Shared Lives is pretty hidden, because every time I mention, oh, I live in Shared Lives or whatever, everyone comes up to me and goes, oh, what is Shared Lives? I've never heard of that. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, get it out there. Like yesterday, I was at Angel Square in town, and that's where like all the social workers and the council people work, with my Shared Lives officer and my team leader trying to promote Shared Lives. Hardly anyone came up, because they're like, oh, we don't know what Shared Lives is. It's like, well, come to the store. We're here till about 3 o'clock in the middle of Angel Square. Come down. But
Did
we
more
literally had
people
about
come?
a few people and hardly anyone came. So, yeah.
Oh, at least you were there and giving it a shot. But yeah, no, we hear about that a
Yeah.
lot. It's not well known enough. and
No.
you're now doing a really good job to try and promote it. Thank you. So just to all of you really, but maybe I'll start with Heather. What excites you about being involved in the Young People Leaving Care program? What
Mm.
are you looking forward to doing?
First of all, I'd like to say that I was actually on the interview panel of all three girls. They'd know.
You are, yeah.
Yeah. So none of them mentioned about getting a grilling, so maybe it's just you. No, I really enjoyed interviewing all the girls, because it actually reminded me why I did this in the first place. Because it's so easy to say, yeah, let's have this meeting and put you in front of a camera in front of 100 people. You feel you can hide behind that screen, but it's sometimes nerve-wracking coming up what you're going to say and how you're going to say it and how you're putting yourself across. And because a lot of the time when people say, oh, you have a learning disability or you have a difficulty, they don't think you're going to be able to present yourself in a certain way, or what happens if you muck up a certain word, or it just kind of can fling you sometimes. And I think being in front of people as well, and having that public speaking and things like that, and having the three girls and taking them under my wing and giving them that push and that confidence to say, get up there, show them what you've got, it's okay. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And as much as it's going to be a great experience hearing about the girls' stories and having that friendship, I think also as well, it's going to be great. And having those different opinions and having those different voices to say, look, this is what my ideas and things like that. But I'm really focused on kind of not coaching as such, but taking them under my wing and as the kind of OG of the kind of ambassadors, really inspiring the girls to be just themselves.
Thank you. And Gracie, what are you looking forward to doing through the program?
Definitely attending more events. I feel like it's so good to speak up and meet people face to face and really get to know people that are in other regions of the UK and really get to hear their thoughts and their perspective of shared lives. It's really nice, and it's so good to meet such kind people that you can just chat with and just get to know, and I think that's really fun. Yeah, I like the events. I'm looking forward to more of them. I definitely like seeing people face to face a lot more. And yeah, just speaking up and just saying my experience, and yeah, mostly events.
Thank you, Gracie. And Victoria, any reflections on what you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of similar to Gracie. I mean, obviously, I've been to events. I'm going to start coming to events because like I said before, I sadly couldn't come to Birmingham because of what's going on, which I was really sad about as well, because I was really looking forward to meeting you, Heather, and Gracie and Kate and Katie in person, but obviously that sadly couldn't happen. But hopefully I'll get to see you all soon. But yeah, I think getting to the events as well, because obviously, sorry, Gracie, I think I'm copy and pasting what you're saying, but it's yeah, also I'm quite really looking forward to getting to know new people and everything like that. Obviously, Heather lives a million miles away in Glasgow, and obviously I'd like to, meet her in person instead of on a computer screen. And obviously, yeah, I think it'd be nice. And obviously I really like meeting new people and getting to know who they are as a person, and obviously, and yeah, I think it'd be really nice, and obviously it'd be really good experience for what the event might be about. And obviously it'd be good to get experience in every part of the ambassador role and everything like that. And getting to see new places and getting to go on, I want to call it adventures like a little child, but you know what I mean, it's
That's good.
Yeah,
I'd love to go on more adventures.
I don't know. I'm just making rubbish up now.
Not at all.
Just trying to make it fun.
Thank you, Victoria. Right, brilliant. Well, just finally from me, yeah, what any thoughts about the future, what that holds for you, Heather, anything exciting you're looking forward to?
I'd say just having more family adventures. I can't wait. Every year we pick somewhere different from a hat and see,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
So each of us writes down like 5 different places that we want to go, and we all put it in a hat and we pick it out. So this year it's Tenerife.
Oh wow. Wonderful.
So I think, learning more of my experience, as a lot of people within the hospital say, oh, she's just a volunteer, but I've had so many people, especially when I've been working in the like mental health kind of side of it, and I'm just like, I can see I don't really give myself a pat in the back, but I can see the major difference that I'm sort of making to those different people. And even though it is maybe just once or twice a week, going in with that smile on my face and, doing their nails or doing their hair for them, or, just making them feel like a person. It's all about making people feel like a person. And I can see within that hospital how many people would absolutely vibe off of having shared lives. I really do. And, when even coming to the taxi to meet you, and it was like, oh, where are you going? And things like that. And I was telling them all about it. And he's like, oh, that's amazing. So even the taxi driver in Edinburgh knows about shared lives. Anywhere I try and go, even if I'm in a doctor's appointment or a hospital appointment, it's really important for these professionals to see, because you never know, they could meet somebody that's, just care experienced, or they've got health issues or whatever, and they could think of that conversation they had with me like 2 weeks ago and say, oh, that would be perfect for you. I think that's what I'm looking forward to in the future. I've no grand plans of moving out anytime soon. I maybe think about that when I'm 64.
Oh yeah. Now don't forget your sun cream in Tenerife.
Oh no, I don't burn. I just tan.
Oh no, you've got to put the sun. Anyway, Gracie, yeah, what are you looking forward to in the future?
I definitely say working on my independence. That's like a key thing for me to kind of become my own person and not really need the like the guidance of someone else. I just want to kind of like be my own person and go independently. I have recently booked my first holiday. It's not exciting. It's just to like Cleethorpes, so it's not really like anything grand, but it's just a seaside holiday for the weekend. But I feel like it's the first step to like me kind of having my own independence, and I'm really looking forward to that. The same as Heather, I'm not planning to move out anytime soon. We currently have a baby living with us because of my carer. She had a baby, so I'm
Wow.
Auntie Gracie, so I'm not planning on leaving her anytime soon. I'm baby
Lovely.
trapped, and I love it.
Thanks, Gracie. And Victoria, any thoughts of the future that you're looking forward to?
I think obviously just more time and more years to spend with my carer and everything like that, and see if my independence grows a bit more, which it has. Like I've gained loads of independent skills. Like I travel a lot independently now. Like I get the bus to town, I get the bus to my rainbow group every Thursday. I literally get the bus everywhere, unless like I'm working like a late night shift or something, then I'd either get a taxi or Jane will come and pick me up from work. But apart from that, because obviously buses don't run late at night, and she doesn't like me in town late at night because it's a bit dodgy at that time. But yeah, I just feel like growing my independent skills, and yeah, basically.
And doing all those hobbies, which sounds amazing. So I'm just bringing Hope back in. Hope, are you there, Hope? I think I can. What are you looking forward to in the future? Because you've got a lot on your plate. You're doing lots of exciting things. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to hopefully getting married sometime soon to my partner.
Oh, wow.
We are engaged, so that'll be nice. I want us to be able to get our own home one day and have a family of our own. That's the long-term goals. But in the short term, just really enjoying the here and now, because it's taken a lot of work to get here. And so it's about time I enjoyed all that hard work and doing all my random crafts.
What have you got there? Is that your crocheting? Is that
Yeah, that's
crochet?
me crocheting.
You've been doing that?
Yeah, I do it all the time. It just helps with me to stay still with my ADHD. And yeah, just really like enjoying like doing all the weird adult stuff that people hate, like paying council tax and all that kind of stuff. Because when you've been told you'll never do those things, there's like a weird sense of enjoyment that you get out of it. Like I always laugh to myself when I'm doing the commute in the morning because everybody else just looks miserable. It's like, oh, doing the 9 to 5, and I'm just there like, oh, never thought I'd be able to do this. This is so exciting. So I look absolutely crazy, but I love that because, you know, when you've worked so hard to get somewhere, you know, you've got to enjoy it when you're there.
Fantastic. Right, look, are there any questions, Jess? Because I'd like to open it up to the audience if they would like to ask.
If anyone does have any questions for our ambassadors, please pop them in the chat now. In the meantime, another question for you, Hope, if that's okay. Of course, you're a Shared Lives ambassador, but you also mentioned work earlier as well. What else do you do for work?
So I've got a number of roles. So I work part-time at PSS, which is a not-for-profit who were the ones that ran and still run the Shared Lives scheme that I was under. And I work as a customer service team leader there. So I get to deal with complaints and all that kind of things. I'm co-chair of the all-party parliamentary group for adult social care. So that's about trying to get people in power to really listen to those on the ground that are living it. I obviously work with Shared Lives Plus. There's all kinds that I do. I can't actually remember everything I do because there's so many different things. And a lot of the work I do is freelance or 0 hours. So I've worked with a number of different social care charities.
Amazing. It sounds like very busy, just like everyone else here, very busy doing lots of different things.
Yeah.
And now that you're living independently, do you have any pets or anything?
Yeah, so we have a cat, me and my partner, and my dog's going to be living with us soon. Because I haven't been able to live with my dog for 7 years now. So it'd be very nice to live with my dog, and it's nice having the cat here as well.
Absolutely, I bet. We always love seeing as well all the Shared Lives pets and households and everything. And Gracie, it's lovely that you've got a baby as well in the house. It's just, yeah, fantastic.
My
if anyone,
dogs are fast asleep on the floor now.
are they? They've been part of today's webinar as well.
They have, yes. They're literally zonked out on the floor now.
Well,
Right.
thank you, everybody. I don't think we have any other questions in the chat, but we just want to thank you all for joining us all today. Huge thanks to Ewan and our ambassadors for today's session as well. We hope everyone enjoys the rest of Shared Lives Week. Please do keep us updated what you've been up to. We'd love to hear. And yeah, happy celebrating. Have a fantastic day. Thank you,
Thanks.
everybody.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
See you all
guys.
soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
joining us. Cheers
Bye.
now.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Yeah, we're still here.